Ōtsutsuki clan. The Ōtsutsuki clan, Ōtsutsuki Ikizoku, is an ancient clan of horned celestial beings, Amitsubito, also described as aliens, Uchijin. As a parasitic species, they have spent thousands of years traversing the cosmos in order to carry out the Ōtsutsuki will, Ōtsutsuki no Ishi, a doctrine which dictates that clan members consume the life energy and genetic material of other worlds in order to continuously evolve, with the ultimate goal of attaining godhood. After the arrival of Kaguya on Earth a millennium ago, the Ōtsutsuki began having a lasting influence on the human population, notably starting the history of shinobi. For countless eons, the Ōtsutsuki clan have been traveling throughout dimensions seeking out worlds to plant ten-tail saplings into. Once planted, it grows into a god tree with its roots spreading across the planet to siphon chakra and genetic material from all its surroundings and inhabitants, resulting in everything dying and it bearing a large fruit for the Ōtsutsuki to consume in order for them to evolve, gaining power and longevity. Once harvested, as they no longer need the planet, they move to another to repeat the process. In order for the ten-tail seeds to bloom into a god tree, a living Ōtsutsuki must be fed to the beast, hence the clan members travel in pairs, with the lower ranking being the sacrifice, while the other one watches over the fruit's cultivation. However, the Ōtsutsuki to be sacrificed utilize kama to prepare a vessel beforehand in order to revive themselves. A millennium ago, Kaguya and Ishiki were chosen to cultivate the god tree on the planet Earth and harvest its chakra fruit, with Kaguya serving as a sacrifice to the ten-tailed sapling. Instead, Kaguya desired to take the chakra fruit for herself, betraying Ishiki in the process whom she left for dead. In desperation, Ishiki used his Sukuna Hikona to reduce his body's size and infiltrate the body of a monk named Jigen, taking him over through parasitic means. Meanwhile, Kaguya would slowly develop an attachment for the planet she meant to destroy and even fall in love with a human, only to consume the chakra fruit herself and used its godlike power to end the constant war of Earth's human population with the infinite Tsukuyomi, resulting in world peace and her being initially viewed as a benevolent deity. Foreseeing the consequences of consuming the chakra fruit against her clan's wishes, she converted the imprisoned victims of the infinite Tsukuyomi into a white Zetsu army in fear of her clan returning to take her chakra, an act which led to humans viewing her as a demon and the Ōtsutsuki condemning her as a traitor. In time Kaguya gave birth to twin sons, Hagoromo and Himura, both of whom were born with chakra of their own. Afterwards, Kaguya eventually found herself ruled by her own desire to possess all chakra, in which made her turn against her own sons. Having devised a plan to absorb their chakra, she integrated with the Earth's god tree and became the Ten-Tails. The monster terrorized the world until Hagoromo and Himura sealed it with their 6 paths, Chibaku Tensei, thus creating the moon. The Ten-Tails chakra was sealed into Hagoromo while its husk, the demonic statue of the outer path, was hidden away and sealed on the moon, in order to prevent the Ten-Tails' revival. Before being sealed, Kaguya created a parasitic life form containing her will, Black Zetsu, to find a way to revive her. Leaving leadership of the clan to Himura, he decreed that the clan would stand guard over the demonic statue. Hagoromo and his brother's direct bloodline stayed on Earth, the latter which inherited the Byakugan and became the Hyuga clan, while Himura migrated the clan to the moon, maintaining order and stability with the power of his Tensigen. Believing chakra was a power that linked everything in the world, Hagoromo set out to spread the message to the people of the land, during which his teachings became known as Ninshu. Towards the end of his life, he divided his chakra into the 9-tailed beasts, his way of ensuring that the Ten-Tails and thus Kaguya would never be reborn. Before he died, he passed over his eldest son, Indra, and entrusted his mission of peace to his youngest son, Azura. Black Zetsu manipulated Indra's jealousy toward Azura, resulting in the two brothers' confrontation being passed on to their descendants by the pair being reincarnated. Having spent the remainder of his life overlooking Earth, Himura entrusted his Ōtsutsuki clansmen with a celestial degree watching over humanity before his passing. Afterwards, the people of the moon treated Himura's Tensigen as a treasure, enshrining it as a religious object and devoting a plan to eternally preserving it with the Byakugan of newborn members taken and put into the vessel to power it. The millennium that passed involved the moon's branch family misinterpreting Himura's celestial decree, leading to them believing he wanted his descendants to destroy Earth in the event the world Hagoromo fashioned lead astray. The main family warred against the branch family over their different interpretations and eventually annihilated the former using the weaponized Tensigen. On Earth, humans along with Ōtsutsuki's descendants such as the Senju, Uzumaki, Uchiha, Hyuga, and Kaguya clan utilized Indra's invention of ninjutsu to shape the shinobi world. 1,000 years after the Ten Tails' defeat, the Moon's branch family dwindled to only Tonari, who was aware that the demonic statue was stolen and the Ten Tails was revived during the Fourth Shinobi World War. The event ultimately led to Kagaya being temporarily revived, but was soon sealed along with Black Zetsu in another dimension by the reincarnations of Azura and Indra. 2 years later, as his clan had concluded that Earth's shinobi will destroy the world's peace and order, Tonari deemed Hagoromo's world a failure, and began to act on Himura's mistranslated celestial decree. Unable to reach an agreement with the Hyuga clan, Tonari resorted to kidnapping the clan's heir and taking her Byakugan in order to awaken the Tenseigan. The act caught the attention of Konohagakure, leading to a team discovering his intentions and defeating him. After becoming aware of Himura's true decree, he vowed to remain in self-imposed exile on the moon in order to stand vigil over the earth as a solitary guardian. Years later, during the 7th Hokage's era, Momoshiki and Kinshiki in another world became aware of abnormalities in Kagaya's world, prompting them to inform their clan and investigate the situation. They were dispatched by the main family to investigate Kagaya's whereabouts, alongside Urashiki. Though they weren't aware of the fate of Kagaya or her chakra, by Urashiki's account they saw everything including the Byakugan princess incident on the moon. They deemed Kagaya a disgrace and traitor for growing an attachment to Earth and taking up arms against them. By the time Momoshiki and Kinshiki were defeated, Konoha had discovered 4 separate Ōtsutsuki clan ruins during their investigation of the clan. Sometime afterwards, Konoha had discovered the clan's time-traveling artifact Karasuki, which Urashiki took in a final bid at stealing the Nine Tails chakra from the past, only for him to meet his end. In the meanwhile, Jigen as Ishiki's vessel managed to acquire a juvenile Ten Tails, planning to use it together with Kara as a seed for the new god tree on Earth. Originally, Ishiki was planning to feed himself via Jigen to this Ten Tails for it to bloom into the god tree, due to Kagaya's betrayal and sealing leaving him with no other option. Despite the resulting chakra fruit being much lower quality due to Ishiki's fatal injury, Kawaki was then to serve as the vessel for Ishiki's resurrection. Due to the time limit of Ishiki's current vessel degrading and his kama not fully extracted into Kawaki, Kara's plans were on a tight schedule, but were allowed more flexibility due to the revelation of Momoshiki creating a vessel of his own, Boruto Uzumaki, before dying. Realizing Boruto will be revived as Momoshiki, Ishiki shifted his plans to using the boy instead of himself as a sacrifice for the Ten Tails, which would produce a much more powerful god tree and chakra fruit. Ishiki's plans ultimately ended in failure as he was betrayed by his subordinates Amato Sanzu and Koji Kashin, and Kawaki freeing himself as the vessel, which led to Ishiki's demise. Momoshiki, having taken over much of Boruto's being, saw Ishiki's death as a benefit to him. Despite Kawaki having lost the kama, he still had 80% of its biological data extracted into his body, causing Momoshiki to deem him close to a full Ōtsutsuki, and thus a viable sacrifice for the Ten Tails. However, Boruto managed to regain control of his own body before Momoshiki could take Kawaki to the beast. Soon after, Ishiki's expiring soul appeared before his loyal servant and failed vessel, Code, and bade him use his white kama to transform into an Ōtsutsuki and carry on the Ōtsutsuki will. Code agreed to do so after first getting revenge on those who killed his master. When Code confronted both Kawaki and Boruto, it resulted in the former attempting to kill the latter in hopes of stopping Momoshiki from returning to life. However, Momoshiki sacrificed the remaining 18% of the kama to save Boruto from death, in order to tether his own soul to the world of living at the cost of his resurrection. Despite the kama's 18% information having been converted to Boruto's DNA, it has been fully decompressed, meaning Boruto has successfully become a full celestial being, and therefore, a viable sacrifice for Code. Appearance. Members of the original clan's main family all possess pale white skin, blank white/lavender pupilless eyes, either pale blue or white hair, and, most notably, a variety of differently shaped horns which are also used as personal identifiers within the clan. As a result of their propensity to evolve by consuming chakra fruit, members may also display unique biological traits such as extra eyes and various dojutsu. Their biology is close enough to humans to be able to procreate with them, and half-human hybrids have similar horns, however they are less pronounced and generally appear to be the same color as their skin. Members of the clan typically dress in white nobles' finery, often embroidered with magatama designs, shave their eyebrows into circular maro patterns that denote their nobility, and style their hair in ways that incorporate distinct zigzag patterns. Abilities. Described as a race of alien parasites by Amato, the Ōtsutsuki evolve off the energy and genetic information that served as nutrients of the chakra fruits when absorbed by their respective god trees, giving them their godlike power and longevity by ingesting it. Some Ōtsutsuki can even transform upon consuming enough chakra or particular forms of power, such as dojutsu. Momoshiki claims that the Ōtsutsuki's greatest skill was their ability to use chakra, a feat previously reserved for them before Hagoromo introduced it to humanity through the concept of ninshu. With it, they can perform feats like flight or concealing their presence. Indeed, during the Fourth Shinobi World War, those with the Ten Tails chakra and even Kaguya herself are impervious to almost every shinobi skill, and it is only by using Hagoromo's Six Paths chakra that she is ultimately defeated. Ōtsutsuki seem to remain unprecedentedly resilient even after they die. Hagoromo's soul lives on through his chakra, which itself travels through time so that he might help solve some of the issues that lingered after his death. Himura's soul manifests before Hinata Hyuga for a similar purpose, giving her the means of stopping Tonari. Indra and Azura's chakra are repeatedly reborn in their descendants so that they can try to settle their age-old competition. Momoshiki's spirit remained intact. For a while, even after his body was destroyed, and was able to say his last words to Boruto. Ōtsutsuki's resilience is extended further through the Kama seal. It is bestowed by a member of the clan before their death to the fitting or the only available individuals. As a result, the person becomes the Ōtsutsuki's vessel, Utsuwa, preserving their genetic profile within the seal. The Kama grants its recipient chakra-absorbing abilities and other unique skills of the Ōtsutsuki, although its prime function is the actual resurrection of the Ōtsutsuki in question. In time, the Kama will rewrite their body with the Ōtsutsuki genetic data, transforming the wielder into the deceased Ōtsutsuki who can sometimes manifest their will through the body. Ultimately, all the data will be extracted into the host, erasing their personality and leading to the Ōtsutsuki's revival in a new body while retaining the host's memories, knowledge, and skills. However, not every person is a perfect vessel for the Ōtsutsuki, while the incompatible one is not able to handle the Ōtsutsuki's power properly, which will lead to their death in several days if such a vessel is used for the revival. In the event that a candidate for a vessel fails, they may be given a white Kama instead, which grants them the pure power of the Ōtsutsuki but has no capacity in revival. Such bearers could become an Ōtsutsuki themselves if they consume a chakra fruit. All Ōtsutsuki have possessed at least one inborn skill, the Byakugan being the most prevalent with the potential of awakening the Tensigen. Kaguya has a predecessor ability of the Shikatsumiyaku, Urashiki and Momoshiki both have the Rinnegan. Another ability in the anime was the wood release as seen by Azura. An ability of the Ōtsutsuki is to move through dimensions with the Yamatsu Hirasaka technique, though it requires an enormous amount of energy even for them. They were able to colonize the moon by creating the Tensigen, which they further strengthened over the centuries by storing their Byakugan within it. From the Tensigen they receive light, a habitable environment for themselves and other flora and fauna, power for their equipment, and the ability to control the moon's movements. They can also remotely control their puppets with but a thought, a far more advanced precursor of the shinobi's puppet technique. When they were alive, Hagoromo and Himura each used different seals to grant or restrict chakra, some of which persist or are rediscovered long after their deaths. Ōtsutsuki are immune to Ada's artificial power of allurement, which otherwise prevents non-blood relatives from harming or disobeying her. If you like this content, don't forget to like and subscribe. See you later, bye bye.